Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you came in, or struggled to find the right word even though it was just on the tip of your tongue? Moments like these happen to all of us, but sometimes they can mean something more. In this video, we'll explore 10 early warning signs of dementia, signs that often go unnoticed or quietly dismissed. But here's the good news. In 2025, science is offering new hope, more than you might imagine. And at the end of this video, you'll find out what it is. Welcome to Wise and Well. All of our content is created with care and based on real scientific and medical studies that we carefully review. You can find all the source links down in the video description. And just a quick reminder, every body is different. What works for one person might not work the same for another. If you're dealing with any health issues, please make sure to consult a doctor or healthcare professional. We're a small team putting a lot of heart and effort into every video. No AI voices, no AI-generated clips, just real people doing their best. Thanks for being here, and let's get started. Dementia isn't one single disease. It's a group of conditions that affect memory, thinking, and daily functioning. It develops slowly, quietly. Often, the first signs are small changes that are easy to miss or easy to excuse. But recognizing these early signals can make a real difference for you or for someone you love. Because with the right care and support, it is possible to live well, even with a diagnosis. 10 early warning signs. Sign number 1, memory loss that disrupts daily life. Let's start with one of the most common signs that starts to affect daily life. Now, forgetting things once in a while, like where you left your glasses, that's normal. We all do it. But if you or someone close to you is starting to forget things more often, things that really matter, like appointments or important dates, it could be more than just aging. They might ask the same question repeatedly, even after getting an answer. Or maybe there's suddenly a big reliance on sticky notes, phone reminders, or family members to keep track of simple routines. Here's a quick example. Maria, a grandmother in her 70s, began calling her daughter several times a day, always asking when her doctor's appointment was. The thing is, that appointment had already happened earlier that morning. So you need to watch for repeated questions, missed events, or a growing need for reminders for the things the person used to remember easily. It's not always obvious at first, but these little moments can be early signs that something deeper is changing. Sign number 2, trouble completing familiar tasks. Have you ever had one of those days where you can't quite remember how to use the TV remote? Or you suddenly forget what button to press on the microwave? It happens, but with dementia, this kind of confusion becomes more frequent and more frustrating. Tasks that used to be second nature, like cooking a favorite meal, managing your bank account, or even driving to a familiar place, can suddenly feel unfamiliar or overwhelming. Let me give you an example. Peter had always managed the family bills, but one day, he couldn't remember how to pay them online. He forgot the password, he mixed up the dates, and he didn't know who to ask for help. This wasn't just forgetfulness, it was something new. What can you look out for? If you notice someone hesitating with everyday routines, or avoiding tasks they used to enjoy, it's worth taking seriously. Another early warning is sign number 3, confusion with time or place. Losing track of time happens to all of us. You might forget what day it is, especially during a quiet weekend or a long holiday. But with dementia, this confusion becomes more frequent. A person may forget what season they're in, what year it is, or why they're in a certain place. They might feel disoriented in the middle of the day, unsure whether it's morning or evening. For example, Jack got dressed one night and started preparing breakfast, even though it was nearly midnight. He thought it was morning and couldn't understand why it was still dark outside. This isn't just a moment of distraction. It's the brain struggling to stay connected to time and space. What should you watch for? Notice if someone gets confused about where they are or how they got there. If they lose track of dates, seasons, or daily routines, it could be a sign that something deeper is happening. Let's move on to the next sign. Sign number 4. Problems with words or speech. We all have those moments when a word just won't come to us. You know what you want to say, but it just won't come. That's normal. But with dementia, these moments become more frequent and more frustrating. A person might struggle to find simple words. They may stop mid-sentence, unsure how to finish their thought. Or they might call everyday objects by the wrong name, like saying hand clock instead of watch. Here's an example. Walter, once a lively storyteller, began using vague phrases like the thing or that stuff because the words he wanted wouldn't come. Conversations started to feel slow and difficult. Sometimes he gave up halfway through a sentence. What can you look out for? Watch for repeated pauses in speech, trouble naming familiar things, or conversations that suddenly trail off. If someone is finding it harder to communicate clearly, it's not just age. It could be a sign that the brain is struggling to keep up. Another early warning is sign number 5, misplacing items and forgetting where they are. Everyone loses things sometimes, keys or a phone. It happens to the best of us. But what if it starts happening more often and in unusual ways? With dementia, people may put things in strange places, like a wallet in the fridge or a remote control in the bathroom. What's more concerning is when they can't remember where they put these items at all. It's not just about forgetfulness, it's the brain's difficulty with organizing and recalling information. Take Susan's story. She once found her car keys in the cookie jar. When asked how they got there, she had no idea. This wasn't a one-time mistake. It happened again and again, causing frustration and confusion. If you notice someone frequently losing things, especially in odd places, or getting upset because they can't find something they just had, it's important to pay attention. This could be more than just misplacing. It might be a sign of a memory problem that needs support. Sign number 6, difficulty with planning or calculations. Have you ever struggled to follow a recipe or balance your checkbook? Maybe you forgot a step in baking or got confused by numbers on a bill. That's something most of us experience now and then, but when it starts happening regularly or with simpler tasks, it might be a warning sign. People with dementia can find it hard to plan ahead or work with numbers. Tasks like cooking, managing money, or organizing an event may suddenly seem overwhelming or confusing. For example, John used to be great at budgeting, but lately he's had trouble adding up expenses and he forgot to pay a few bills altogether. It wasn't carelessness, it was something deeper. If you notice someone struggling with everyday planning or simple calculations, even when it used to be easy for them, it's a sign to take seriously. Let's move on to the next sign. Sign number 7, poor judgment. We all make mistakes sometimes, it's part of being human. But when poor decisions start happening more often, especially in important areas, it's a sign to watch. Research shows that dementia affects the brain areas responsible for decision-making and impulse control. This can lead to risky behaviors, such as giving away large sums of money to strangers, falling for scams, or neglecting personal hygiene. For example, studies have found that people in early dementia might dress inappropriately, like wearing heavy clothes on a hot day, because they no longer understand social cues or weather conditions. Others may forget basic safety steps like turning off the stove or locking the front door. Jenny once left the stove on overnight, putting herself at risk. She also gave away a large amount of money to a person she barely knew, something very unlike her. If you notice someone's decision-making slipping, especially in ways that affect their safety or finances, it's a warning sign worth taking seriously. Another early warning sign is sign number 8, withdrawal from social activities. Have you noticed if someone you care about is slowly pulling away from friends, family, or hobbies they used to love? With dementia, it's common for people to lose interest in social activities. They might avoid gatherings because they feel confused, overwhelmed, or embarrassed by memory lapses. For example, Thomas used to enjoy weekly card games with friends, but over time, he stopped going, saying he just didn't feel like it. What he really felt was anxiety about forgetting the rules or getting lost in the group. If you see someone becoming isolated or less engaged, especially when they used to be outgoing, it can be a subtle but important sign. Encouraging gentle social interaction with patience and understanding can help, but recognizing this change early is key. Sign number 9, mood or personality changes. Dementia doesn't just affect memory. It can change the way someone feels and behaves. You might notice mood swings, sudden irritability, or unusual anxiety. They may act differently than they used to, or seem not themselves. For example, Anne was always cheerful and calm, but recently, she's become easily frustrated and withdrawn, even with close family members. These mood changes can be confusing and hard to understand, but they are common with dementia. Let's move on to the last sign. Sign number 10, loss of initiative. Have you noticed if someone close to you seems less interested in starting activities or taking care of themselves? Loss of initiative means a person may stop trying to do things they once enjoyed or avoid new projects altogether. They might spend more time sitting quietly, showing less curiosity or motivation. For example, Frank used to love gardening, but lately he hasn't touched his plants in weeks. He says he's just not up to it, even though physically he's fine. If someone is losing their drive to engage with life, it could be a sign of early dementia and an important signal to seek support. What's new in 2025? Now, it's important to remember this. Noticing these signs early can truly change the course of dementia. Thanks to advances in research and technology, the world of dementia care is changing faster than ever in 2025, bringing new hope for early detection, treatment, and support. Blood-based early detection tests are one of the biggest breakthroughs. Scientists have developed simple blood tests that can detect specific proteins and markers linked to Alzheimer's and other types of dementia. These tests can identify changes in the brain long before obvious symptoms appear. This means doctors can start monitoring and supporting patients earlier, giving families more time to plan and access care. Alongside this, artificial intelligence, or AI, is playing an exciting role. AI tools can analyze speech patterns and subtle changes in thinking by listening to everyday conversations or recorded speech. These technologies can spot early signs of cognitive decline that might go unnoticed during routine medical exams. By catching problems early, people can get the help they need sooner, and researchers can better understand how dementia develops. On the treatment front, there are new promising medications. Drugs like lecanemab and donanemab are designed to target the harmful protein plaques that build up in the brain. These plaques are thought to cause the damage leading to memory loss and cognitive decline. Clinical trials have shown these drugs can slow the progression of the disease in some patients, helping to preserve brain function longer. While they are not cures, they represent important steps forward in dementia care. Lifestyle research also continues to show how powerful simple daily habits can be. Eating a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats supports brain health. Regular physical activity, even just walking 30 minutes a day, helps improve blood flow to the brain and protects against decline. Good quality sleep is critical too, as it allows the brain to clear waste and repair itself overnight. Together, these healthy habits create a strong foundation for maintaining memory and thinking skills. Finally, digital support tools are becoming increasingly helpful for people living with dementia. Smartphone apps, voice-activated assistants, and wearable devices can provide reminders for medication, appointments, and daily tasks. They offer gentle prompts without being intrusive, helping people stay more independent and reducing stress for caregivers. These technologies are designed to adapt as needs change, making daily life safer and more manageable. Remember, noticing these early signs isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. The earlier dementia is detected, the more options you have. Early diagnosis means better access to care, treatments, and support that can improve quality of life. If you or a loved one recognizes any of these signs, don't wait. Talk to a doctor or healthcare professional, someone who can help guide you through the next steps. Taking action early is one of the most important things you can do. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more trusted health information. Like and share to help spread awareness and support others who may need it. Together, we can face dementia with knowledge, hope, and care.